Well, hello, my YouTube friends. Today it is my pleasure and my honor to present you Tom Mayo, the maker, and his knives. That's what I'm gonna try to do actually, to separate this video in two parts in the same vid. We're gonna discuss about Tom Mayo, the man, the maker, the businessman, and we're gonna discuss about the sample of his knife that I got here. Those are not my collection. Those are a really nice loan from a buddy of mine that knew that I had a kind of opinion from distance about Mayo knives and wanted me to have the possibility to judge them. Not judge, but have my own opinion by carrying them like that as an EDC, and carry them and have after that to in a way to put them on trial but for me, and get my own feeling about them. So as I said, I wanted to discuss first about Tom Mayo, the maker himself. So that is a man that started making knives in 1981. At that time, of course, Bob Loveless was the reference for the knife makers. Bob Loveless invented the tactical knife world per se. I mean, at that time in 1960s, I would say, he stated that some people would pay $100. That was a crazy price at that time compared to the $10 that the regular knife cost. That actually he thought that there were people that would be interested in those kind of knives, and man, was he right. So of course Tom was influenced by Bob Loveless, man who wasn't at that time. Then after that, he developed his own style for sure. And today, I would say, after making fixed blade a lot of different blades, today his own style is basically what I will what I will describe as frame locks, simple titanium, hole patterns, full handmade knives. This is a man that up until today doesn't use CNC. I mean, he started using CNC for a special model called the TMX, something like that. But all those custom are totally handmade by one man. It's a one-man operation, Tom Mayo himself, and that's it. He trained a lot of people like Kevin Foster, for example, that makes great knives also. But basically, this is a one-man operation, and his style, the Mayo style, is that. That is something to give to his credit. I mean, you can say whatever, you can appreciate or don't his knives, but he created that style, the simplicity of a knife that has hole patterns, full titanium, and totally handmade. This is his style and his legacy. In time, this is what we get. I mean, Mayo, you will remember him later. I mean, the later. Hopefully, he will have a long life, but the history will give him this credit, and his name will stay for that. And that is enough. That is enough said. I mean, I could stop the video there and say that here is a man that makes quality knives, that is a great man, a nice businessman, and invented a style that will outlive him. That would be enough, and I think that it's already a great point addressed. Now, of course, he succeeded because he's making great knives, because he created his own style like that, and also he's also a great. He provides a great customer service. This is a man that is really hard to get knives from, but if you have a knife from him and have any kind of trouble, he will fix it in a couple of days. That's what I heard from people who had issues with his knives. A couple of days and he will fix them. He's a really nice man. This is a great combo if you want to succeed. Be a great man, a great businessman, and a great maker. I think that with that, you are more likely to succeed. Then, so I don't know how to put it, but there is the inner quality that is undeniable. But I want to talk a little bit about the art itself, because, of course, as I said, he created a style, and that's enough. But is it enough to please everyone? Of course not. Of course not. That kind of simplicity is well, but, it can be nice for some and less for others. I would put myself in the position of those who are not really drawn or fond by this kind of simplicity. But you know, it's a matter of taste, and when it comes to art, taste doesn't really matter. That's why I'm not gonna talk a lot about that, because as I say, for me, looking at a Picasso painting, for example, I will recognize the quality for sure, but it won't move me. For some reason, it won't move me. Is that to say that Picasso is not an artist or a great man? That would be stupid. But my taste is that this is, even after carrying them, this is a knife that I could keep because it's a great EDC, but we're going to talk about the knives. As I said, I wanted really to talk about Tom Mayo himself. So I still understand, after carrying those knives, that at the end of the day, there will be people that will keep on following that man because he is a great man and a great maker, and that will be sensible to this kind of art, of simplicity. And others, like me, that will now appreciate the maker, the craft, undeniable and impeccable craft, but we won't be sensible, because at first glance, I'm not really sensible to the art. Not a big deal. It's really not a biggie, and I would hate to have bad opinion, as I had when I made my comment on Instagram about that. This is absolutely no offending to say that you have a great artist, but you are not really drawn to the art. Okay, so that is for the art itself. Now we're going to discuss, because I think that I said about it all, about Tom Mayo and the way he's conducting his business, which is absolutely impeccable. Now we're going to talk about the knives themselves. This is basically what you're going to get if you can get a Mayo, because it's something that is still very hard to get. So this is the basic Mayo that you're going to get, the folders, I mean, okay? So titanium, as I said, with holes and everything and different kind of blades. Of course, he makes also like very dressed models, but the scarcity on those is so high that it's not even important to discuss about that. So this is basically the model that you're going to get. This is called the TNT, this is the Dr. Death, and this is the Midnight Rambler. From what I understand, it has to go with the shape of the handle. So you see this one is kind of curved, so that's the TNT. It can be, it's a very EDC friendly knife. It can be small, or I've seen it also a bigger. That's the TNT. This is the Dr. Death. I think it's, you know, more straight. And it can be big also, or a little bit smaller. And the name goes for the handle, I think, because for Dr. Death, you can find like Persian style blades like this one, but you can find also draw point, three point, whatever. It can be really different. And this one is all flattened, as you can see, all flattened scale. And it's called the Midnight Rambler, okay, with this kind of blade shape. But I think that he also makes other blade shape. Again, the name is basically about the handle. Now, let's discuss, because already 8 minutes, about the merits of those knives. So, yeah, of course, as I said, it's really well done knives. You can tell that the quality, look at that. The quality of the titanium is really nice. I love the whole patterns. Absolutely well executed. Really nice. What I don't like, the clips. I mean, they're functional, but it's spring clips. You know, again, now we're going to discuss for the minutes to come about the knives themselves. So the handle is well made. The clip is a spring clip. So nowadays, I don't really like those clips. You can make like 3D clips or whatever. It's not that hard. The hardware, the pivot is nice. This is something that I don't really like, to have the pivot with a regular screw like that. Whatever. The action on the knife, they're on washers. Nice action, I would say. The blade shape on this one, I think it's fantastic. The Damascus is a really nice Damascus, and also it's a big hollow grind, which is something that I adore. It's really difficult to tell with the video, but I can tell you that the hollow grind, especially with Damascus, very difficult to get the hollow, but this one is a dramatic hollow grind that starts from the spine up until the edge, and that knife, truly, I absolutely adore this blade shape. This one, actually, as I said, I could keep it as a perfect EDC and companion, because the knife is well done, really well built. Look at the engagement. Very early, usually it makes more like 40 to 50%. This one is early, but it's rock solid. There is no blade play whatsoever, whether it's front to front, side to side. This is a rock solid knife, very, very, very secured. Even if it looks a little bit, thin, this is a very, very sturdy and well-built knife. The centering, almost spot on, sorry. Very, very nice. All his knives have a great sharpness. All of them. Really, really nice. I mean, it's all razor sharp. So yeah, this one would be a great candidate for EDC. Like it a lot. This one. So yeah, this one I could own it. The ergos are fine. Usually the choil, I find it to be a little bit down on the handle. You see, it leaves some place there, but it's not important. I like to have a more forward grip on my knives, to use the handle per se. So as you can see here on all of his knives, I've seen that the choil is really, really low on the handle. So you see, it gives you a lot of handle here. I like to have not only my finger here, but then after that to have some grip or jimping on the blade. You see, part on the blade, part on the handle. On this one, you have to put your position really low, and the thumb lies here on the handle. It's not a big deal, but it's something that I would prefer to be different, So this one, as I said, the Dr. Death, look at that. Very, very nice. Look at the meaning inside the holes. It's just fantastic. I like that. So same basic things, really well done. Same problem with the hardware here for me. The centering on this one is off. Again, the same spring clip. I don't think he ever made a 3D clip, but I might be wrong. The standoffs are regular. You see, they're nothing crazy. All simplicity. He will not go for crazy backspacer, floating backspacer, whatever 3D clip. All the features we like to get. I mean, he kept his own style, which is for some really appreciable, but for me a little bit less, I would say, if you consider the knife itself. The action is the pivot is on washers, as I said. On those, he's using basically a bronze washers, except on this one. This one is a really special knife. I'll try to talk about it because I only have 3 minutes left. So yeah, as I said, you see, kind of not really modern features, but again, for the people that loves Mayo, this is something that they will research and they will like about that. His hand rub is nothing to say about that. Nice hand rub. The grinding skill, as I said with this one, I love the hollow. It does a really nice hollow, nice hand rub. Nothing much to say. He's using basically CPM 154 as a regular steel, except when it's Damascus. Nothing more to say about that. Great job on the grind and on the hand rubbed. So this one is special. I want to discuss about this one. This one is all flattened, and it's a knife that is made. Only 7 of those have been made. It's a totally non-magnetic and non-detectable knife. The handles are titanium. The screws, all the hardware is titanium. The blade is steadied 6K, sorry. So totally non-magnetic also. And also on this case, for this one, he used Teflon washers, which make this knife totally undetectable. He made only 7 of those, and I think only 3 with that big side. This is the Midnight Rambler. So I don't really like the coating and the kind of bead blast, you have on the blade, but the blade is very ergonomic, it's a nice user. Again, the choil very down, but the ergos are, I would say, fine, fine, nothing really crazy. So again, what you will have with those knives are great knives from a great man, great maker that may or may not please you artistically. For a lot of you, it does, and I can definitely respect that because there are a lot of reasons for. And for those of you who are not really drawn into the art, they can still, as I did, appreciate greatly those knives, and even have one knife that I could carry and get as an EDC. So I would say that I have mixed feelings about him, but undeniably a great maker, and he will have his place in history. With that being said, my friend, I'll catch you very soon for another video. Bye-bye. It was a pleasure.